Let me tell y'all something. Diddy ain't spit. Okay? I'ma say it again. This man ain't spit, and I'ma tell you why. So, Diddy sitting up over here scheming, plotting, plotting to get a mistrial. They were trying to have Cassie on the stand longer than what she's supposed to be. Till Monday. Till Monday. In hopes that if they have her on the stand long enough, she would go into labor and it would cause her to have the baby and he gets the mistrial. You heard me right. He was hoping that this girl goes into labor, this woman goes into labor, and it's like, oh, mistrial. You can't tell me that this man loved this girl. Cassie was a tool that Diddy used for his own gratification. Gratification. Sexual gratification. That's what he used her for. Did I spell that right? Sexual. All right, yeah. He was using her for that. That's what he was using her for. And he was going to continue to use her for that as long as she allowed it. In her head, in her heart, she loved that man. And there's something called trauma bond. As bad as bad and degrading and as terrible as it was, that's what she knew since she was a teenager. But she met him when she was 19, 18, 19. And what did he do? He introduced her to things that he should, like, you weren't supposed to introduce her to those things. Any man that really loves a woman is not going to introduce her to substances. Look, if you want to have a little sip here and there of alcohol, that's fine. But the things he introduced her to, you can tell he was plotting on her. He was plotting on her. He GROOMED'd her from the beginning. That was the plan. He used that girl. You could tell he ain't care about her. She was a tool and she went along with things and she kept acting like she enjoyed these things because she wanted to make him happy and she didn't want to she didn't want to get a two-piece and a biscuit. That's what it was. She didn't want to catch a two-piece and a biscuit. That's why. That is literally why she stayed with that man as long as she did. Because when you listen to the things, allowing men to relieve themselves on her. Cassie had these freak offs so often, she said that it burned. Burned. She had sores in her mouth. She got UTIs frequently and was expected to perform when she was on her monthly cycle. You mean to tell me this man cared about this girl and loved this girl? Or was he using her for his own gratification? Jonathan Odie said that he was so terrified that Cassie was going to pass away that he secretly recorded their encounters just in case if she passed away from these substances that she was on, because she was blacked out several occasions. He was so afraid that she was going to pass away that he recorded them, the interactions, the encounters, just so if anything happened nobody could say it was his fault. This young woman went to therapy because she couldn't take the fact that she did all of these things and she couldn't live with the guilt. Cassie released one album. One album. One album. And you never heard any music from her like that again. Nothing that I could recall and be like, oh yeah, that song from Cassie was hot. I remember Me and You and Got a Long Way to Go. That's all I really remember. But Diddy really is a fool. He really was like, I'm going to sit up here and try to get a mistrial at the expense of this woman and her child. He was going to really try to do that. He had his defense team trying to roll out 400 exhibits at the last moment. Having Cassie read these overly long text messages. And it's like, what does this have to do with certain things? It was like they were delaying, they were trying to prolong the process. Now, even if they went to him and said, you know what, Diddy, this is what we plan on doing. You think he was going to say, nah, don't do that to her? I bet you he was with it because that's who he is. Diddy is all about saving his arse. Next up is Dawn Richard, and they said that Aubrey O'Day is supposed to be testifying. And you know for a whole fact that Aubrey O'Day is not going to spare nothing. She's not going to spare that man. She's going to lay it out exactly how it is, how it was, period. And don't forget, Dawn Richard was around when Cassie was around. So I know whatever she saw, she's going to let it be known she saw all of it. Diddy going to get what's coming to him. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about all of this. Bye.